welcome to part 3 of my interview with Terry Carpenter, the stage manager at Meadow Brook Theater here in Auburn Hills / Rochester, Michigan. We're right on the border, and it's right on the campus of Oakland University. Terry has been working here at this theater for 40 years.
Yep.
And is retiring this year, so I didn't want him to leave without being able to grab his stories for our community before he left. And his wisdom, because this is where I ask you, what do you think? I mean, I would like you to put on your kind of teacher's cap and your mentor cap, right? And what would you say to someone looking to be a stage manager? What makes a good stage manager in your view?
So what I say, and this is what I say to actors too, is work as many places as you can with as many different people as you can, so that you get a wide experience. I tell the actors to do backstage work, and I tell technicians you need to have at least one experience on stage, so you know what it's like to have to depend on the people backstage to provide the costume when you need the quick change, or have the prop repaired before the next show for you. I did teach for Oakland University, the stage management course, for, I don't know, maybe 15 semesters. And we've had lots of interns that have come through that I've mentored, and kids in A Christmas Carol that have grown up. They've become actors or other professionals in the entertainment world.
Or Grant.
Yes, there is a child actor who's now an adult actor in this show. And that's happened before even. But there's dancers and singers and stuntmen and all kinds of, and a lot of them do say that their time in A Christmas Carol or whatever the show was, or the classes that I taught at OU, there was a stage manager who's now working at a venue in Florida, and sort of had lost contact with her. But recently we had a mutual friend that she was working with, and she got back in touch with me to say, even though she was a musical theater student, I think here, when she took my course, that the stage management course was the best course she had at Oakland, and that's what made her decide to become a stage manager. And she's gone and worked, and now she's like in charge of a big operation. It was like, oh, well, maybe I had a little bit to do with that. So I just tell people, work as much and as many different places as you can, get as wide a variety of experiences. This business, more than any others, it's not always what you know, but it's who you know. Yeah. And you work with someone, and maybe 3 years from now, they're going to say, I know this person who would be great for this job because I worked with them and I remembered them. So that's what I tell people to do. Just keep working, and it'll lead to more work.
Work leads to work, that's for sure. What is your day like? I mean, what do you do?
I unlock the doors, I make the coffee.
Yeah, you still making coffee? Okay, great.
Yeah. I do have an intern in recent years to lessen the load for everybody on staff. We have interns that come for the full season, but we try not to take advantage of them.
No, they always seem very happy whenever I talk to them.
Everybody
very satisfied.
Everybody has to take a turn on helping with other departments. They all have to help with strike or the light, hang, and focus. But for the most part, my stage management intern is either with the production in rehearsal or with the production in performance. So I don't say, you always have to mop the floor in the rehearsal room. I'll probably do it more than they will. I'm usually the one that makes the coffee, though I teach them how to do it in case I'm busy and can't make coffee. We have to have coffee.
Yes, that's vital.
But anyway, it starts early with unlocking the doors. It ends being usually the last one out, except maybe the wardrobe person is doing laundry. But locking the doors, and it's a lot of getting messages out to people. What have we done in rehearsal? What happened in the show tonight? What needs to be done for tomorrow? Casting, I help a lot with that here at Meadow Brook. That isn't a job that the stage manager would typically do. but I'm actually titled as associate director. Because have been directing A Christmas Carol. Occasionally I've directed other things. And I do a lot of ordering of the cleaning supplies and the office supplies and other things here at Meadow. So my day is full outside of the rehearsal and performance hours. But it's a 6-day-a-week job. Usually on the Monday day off, there's meetings.
I still see you.
There's stuff. There's always stuff to do, you know. The joke I used to always tell for my mother-in-law, because she would want to know what the family was going to be doing for Easter, and I would say, "Oh, I'm in rehearsal, or I'm in performance. I got a matinee," and she would say, "But it's Easter," and I would say, "I get Easter off the year it falls on a Monday." And eventually, she got the idea that no, we were not going to be coming to her house for dinner on Easter.
Yeah, I have rehearsal. That is
yes.
That is our mantra. No matter if you're an actor or a stage manager or director, you're lucky if you have rehearsal.
Now, back in the days when there were 2 stage managers here and alternating, sometimes I had evenings off, sometimes I had days off. I wasn't here all day long when my boys were growing up. So I was able to spend time with them, could go to a function at the school sometimes, depending on how the schedule fell. But they also had a great time growing up in the theater. They would come backstage and help me check the blue lights backstage. And
well, I heard that at the party the other day, we had a cast party, of course, that your eldest son was the first to say, "Not bloody likely."
Right, at 4 years old. So the Charles Nolte, who was the original, not the original director, he didn't do the very first year, but he did the adaptation and directed it for many years before I started directing it, asked us when Adam was 2, "Don't you want him to be like a baby in the show?" And we said, "No, it's going to throw off his sleeping hours." And then asked him when he was 3, and we said, "No." When he was 4, he went directly to Adam and said, "You want to be in the show this year, don't you?" And then they came to us and told us that was going to be it. And then Charles added that line, "Not bloody likely," for him. And our audience, who'd seen the show a few years already before then, but they'd never heard that line. And this little 4-year-old kid's saying it, huge laughter, and Adam looked out at the audience, and we knew, oops, he's hooked. He's an actor now. Our other son, Joel, did several shows here, Christmas Carol and others, but he did it more for the money. He didn't have the passion for the acting profession that.
Well, there's still actors out there who feel
do
that
it for
way.
the money. Yes, I'm sure.
So I think this is a good transition into talking to you about your life as a director. You've directed me in projects outside of this, in Shakespeare and things like that. And what attracts you to the work as a director as opposed to a stage manager?
Sometimes just having an idea for a show, and it's like, oh, I would like to have it realized like this. Well, it's going to have to be me, because I'm not going to convince anybody else to do my ideas. So yes, I've directed for Shakespeare Royal Oak three times, and stage managed for them once. I've directed for Williamston up near Lansing. There were a couple years when we did Every Christmas Story Ever Told that was in their space and then played in front of our Christmas Carol set here at Meadow.
Oh, that sounds really perfect, actually.
It worked out well. And so we did it. We had the run there, and then we did it like on our dark nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when we didn't have a Christmas Carol performance. So some of our audience who said, like, I don't want to see A Christmas Carol anymore. I don't know why they would say that, because it's a great production. But those years we said, okay, here's something else you can come to in December and see a Christmas show, a different kind of a Christmas show.
So what would be your favorite show that you've ever directed? Besides A Christmas Carol.
Yes. As You Like It, With Jeff Tamakis. Yes.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Jake yes. That was the one and only time I ever got to act with my wife.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
we had one little scene together, but it was the only time. She's in theater too, but we never acted together. So thank you for that. That was fun.
I didn't do it on purpose, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh yeah, that production and just the park setting just seemed ideal for that Shakespeare play, and it's my favorite of all of his works.
Okay, what's right? Why is it your favorite?
Just because all the different lovers and how they interact and don't know what they're doing, but it all works out at the end. Just like I was saying with stage managing, sometimes things happen that are out of your control, but you don't worry, it's all going to work out at the end. So the four couples all end up the way they should be at the end of that play.
Yeah, they do. And Jake ends up alone and living in a cave.
Sorry.
I was born to play Jake in a lot of ways. So I appreciate it.
But you get to go home to Kaja at the end of the run.
There is difference between life and art. Yes, of course. What's next for you? So you're retiring, and where are you off to now?
We are selling the house in Michigan and moving to New Jersey, across the river from Philadelphia, where our older son and our two grandsons are, to help him and his wife with them. Not that we need to be down the street, but we just need to be close enough that if they call and say, pick up the toddler at preschool because we're taking the baby to the doctor.
Well, you want your in-laws close enough to babysit, but far enough away not to be too much in your life, right? But I think that's going to be like the perfect distance away. Yeah.
And there are 40 theaters, equity theaters in the Philadelphia area. So I'll let people know I'm in town. I could, sub.
I feel like you're going to be.
I could do a short-term something, but I'm not going to do 40 years again.
No, well, yeah, I mean, that'd be crazy, Terry. Don't do 40 years again anywhere else. But
my grandfather and my father lived into their 90s, so I've got maybe 30 years still in me.
I think it's great that you're going there. Is this like returning home for you in a way? Because you're moving back to the Northeast.
Yeah, a little bit. We have lots of friends, theater and otherwise, that are like in the Washington to Boston corridor, and now that I'll have a day off,
or more, as many days off as you want,
we could get there and back. Whereas from here on a Monday day off, even if I didn't have any meetings or whatever, we can't get to my family in upstate New York and back. So there's nephews and their family that we have not seen, well, even since pre-COVID days, but it would be nice to touch base with them more than just on Facebook and emails.
Are you going to miss Michigan?
I don't know that I'm going to miss Michigan. I will certainly miss the people here, and our younger son is still here, so we'll be back to visit people and maybe see shows at Meadowbrook or other places on a sporadic basis. Anyway,
is there something you want to leave me with?
I don't. Well, I think even though you're having a good time with your teaching and whatever, that you should find more opportunities to be on stage.
I should. I'm working on it. I want to say that as we're wrapping this up, that you have been an exceptional inspiration to me, and just a wonderful person. You've given me a lot of breaks locally, and you continue to think about me, even when I was off in Louisiana for so many years, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
I will miss you dearly, and I hope that I wish nothing but the best for
Thank
you.
you. But there's always Facebook, so we can always we can always be in contact.
Yes, there is always Facebook, and there's always YouTube at theinspiredactor.com. This has been an exceptional 3-part interview with Terry Carpenter. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, And if you've worked with Terry, feel free to write something to him in the comments. I'm sure we'll get it to him. Or you can write me on my website if you have any comments about this particular interview or any videos that you happen to see on www.michigancheckoff.com. Also, there is always Facebook, which you can search for my name or for my group, Michigan Checkoff, and just like my page, and you'll be kept up to date on every video and all the hijinks that I will be up to here in Metro Detroit.
So I'll have to keep track of that too.
Yes.
Because I won't be here to just hear the grapevine news.
Yeah. So please, yes, of course. He's already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.